playing on the job. For two Chicago area men, their jobs are play. Steve Sanders met them and tells us about their unusual line of work. Steve.
You know, it really is work, Allison, but sometimes it just doesn't look like it. You see, these guys create video games, and through their business, these are men who get to be boys for life. Tonight, Chicago's very own Game Boys. It's just another day at the office for Jeff Nauman and Brian Cullen. For the past 15 years, they've created some of the nation's most popular video arcade games. Brian and Jeff first teamed up in the early 1980s, creating games for the Chicago-based Bally Midway.
We got together because I was an artist, animator. He was a programmer.
I have to take what Brian and I come up with and make sure they work.
Now I got you.
Now partners in their own company, Jeff's computer skills and Brian's eye for animation have proved to be a winning team. Over the years, they've created games like the 1985 classic Rampage, and 10 years later, a sequel, Rampage World Tour. This is a game one writer described as Godzilla meets the Three Stooges. Animated characters George, Lizzie, and Ralph march through one city after another, from Peoria to Kankakee, and finally Chicago, eating people and destroying buildings. And believe it or not, it's funny stuff.
We see games as entertainment, as escapism. I don't want to go somewhere and relive the evening news. And I don't want to live the horror of what's going on in the world. I want to get away from that.
You know, some of the most successful video games aren't just violent and crazy, they're also funny. And that's the case with Rampage World Tour. The whole city's being destroyed while I'm talking here. Let's see. For any kid who'd rather play video games than do anything else, theirs is a dream job.
It is a dream job.
But it's also a job for daydreamers.
I get more work done daydreaming, a lot of times more useful work on the game design side.
What it takes to do this thing, besides not caring about sleep, you got to have a creative mind and have a lot of common sense.
Their company, Game Refuge, is run out of a small office in south suburban Hazel Crest. They employ a staff of 10 computer animators, and here's the tough part of their jobs. Jeff and Brian often have to play their own games, often for hours, to make sure all the bugs are out. Tough job. And when they've grown tired of playing,
what's your guy doing?
They make their kids do the work. As Jeff and Brian approach middle age, getting grown-up jobs has never been a part of their game plan. They're Chicago's very own Game Boys. Oh, some of the other games Jeff and Brian have created include Arch Rivals, Pigskin, and General Chaos. That's a game which could have been patterned after the WGN newsroom. Allison, I know some of those games you're familiar with, right?
You bet.
Like the original Rampage, Rampage World Tour was designed to appeal to a broad range of people. To the teenagers, to the hardcore, to couples. Rampage appeals to that big gap that the operator has been saying, I don't have any games for these other people. Yeah, I've got the hardcore covered. Yeah, my 15-year-old male, I've got a ton of those type of games for them. But what about everybody else? Rampage fills that gap.
They came from an experiment gone bad.
The accident has affected our 3 lab technicians. They seem to have mutated into some sort of... Oh my God!
With an appetite big enough to eat an entire city for lunch. It's Rampage World Tour.
Please go